Well, hey everybody, Darren Garmin here with Trot. Hello, Trot.
How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. We are, as we're recording this, right, an interesting time of year. We're not quite into 2024, but we're pretty darn close. And so it's that interesting time where a lot of things are going on, and there's a lot of things that are not going on because of the time of year. So you and I are recording this right before, like I said, 2024. But I want to make sure before we go any further, if you are watching or listening anytime after 2024, what we're going to be sharing with you on this podcast is what we call here in the office evergreen, which means it is lasting and will apply to you no matter if it's 2025. You're laughing at my evergreen.
I liked it.
You like that?
Yeah, I liked it.
I got evergreens I need to get rid of. That's why. I mean, they grow and they never go away. They're around forever, and that's pretty much what this is. Whether you're watching in 2025, 2027, 2030, doesn't matter. Because what we're going to apply is going to be applicable no matter when you are watching or listening. And so I'm excited about this episode of the Heartland Multifamily Show. It is the place
For all things multifamily.
Welcome to the Heartland Multifamily Show, the shorter, more profitable path to multifamily ownership and investing. The not so obvious mistake that investors make. And we're in the multifamily space, but what we're talking about here will not only apply to multifamily, it'll apply to other investment worlds, niches, specialties, whatever you want to throw one in there. What investment? What else could I say?
You said
all of it.
Yeah,
I pretty much covered it all.
Yeah.
So no matter what investment you're into, whether it's multifamily or not, but especially if you are in the multifamily space, what we're going to talk about here is an obvious, in some cases not so obvious, but we tend to think an obvious mistake that multifamily investors make, and really all investors make. And let's start out by talking about what it is not. Okay, so what is one thing that this mistake is not, that some people are probably thinking? So they're probably thinking, before you go there, they're probably thinking, oh, it has something to do with, property selection, location, income, cap rates, financing, all that kind of stuff. So name one thing that this has nothing to do with.
Real estate.
Real estate, exactly. So what we're going to talk about on the Heartland Multifamily Show about an investment mistake, an obvious one that many people make, has nothing to do with real estate. And as a matter of fact, it has nothing to do with investing. But what it does have to do with is if you get this figured out, you will have a huge advantage in the marketplace. Because if we've learned anything, Trot, it is competitive out there, very competitive, no matter what you're doing or how you're doing it. For every investor, there's some kind of competition going on out there. And we see this all the time.
Right.
You and I are, how many times are you and I having at least some kind of conversation about some kind of competitive thing going on that we're dealing with, especially in the multifamily world?
Every day.
Pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And if you want to get to the top of the investment world, we're in the multifamily world here, or whatever investment world you're in, and hopefully you're working on that, because why else would you be working on it if you don't want to eventually get to the top, or worst case, work towards getting to the top, is understanding how competitive it's got to be, which means for guys like you and me, for people like you and me, Trot, what do we have to be good at? What do we have to be our best at?
Well, we have to be creatively competitive.
We got to be creatively competitive every day. So we got to basically be showing up to the office, showing up on those appointments, showing up wherever the best way we can. So in other words, we've got to be showing up in the best way that we possibly can, right? So far what we've talked about on the Heartland Multifamily Show is pretty obvious, right? We haven't really revealed any secrets here. You got to be showing up the best that you can every day if you want to get to the top of whatever investment world you're in, and you want to do that sooner versus later. Okay. So what advantage do we see over and over again? Now, don't answer it yet, because I'm going to give you like 2 paragraphs here. Okay. So what advantage are investors not taking advantage of that we see all of the time? And once in a while, when we do see investors taking advantage of this strategy, we're like, wow, did you see him? Or did you see them? Did you see her? Did you see that? Where we're like having a conversation about it, right? We're actually going out of our way to talk about this, right? So the big reveal, what is it?
The investor's physical fitness.
Their physical fitness, how good a shape they're in, right? Yeah. And before you, bear with us here, okay? Before you laugh this off, before you click the pause button or you exit this video or the audio, however you're listening, stay with us on this, because what we're going to talk about here is super important. So just don't go away, because I realize that for some of you, you're already thinking, come on, man, really? That's it? That's what you're going to be talking about? Is that, because intuitively, we all kind of know, right?
Right.
So if that's the case, why are so many people that we deal with, that we're competing with on a day-to-day basis, not dialing this in?
Well, part of it is laziness, no discipline,
yep,
time management, quite a few things.
There's quite a few things, and all of those are accurate. But here's the biggest one. The biggest one is distraction. So most, not all, but most investors do not give themselves the advantage, the competitive advantage of showing up in great physical condition, because they're too distracted with other things. And they leave it as last on the priority list, only to never get around to it. That's the deal. And so let's just take a step to the side a little bit and talk about why it's important to show up in great physical shape. Okay. So when we say great physical shape, we're not saying you need to be, the winner of the CrossFit competition over the last 5 years. Okay. We're not saying that. We're not saying you have to be a sub 3-hour marathoner. We're not saying any of that kind of stuff. You don't have to be elite at any of this. We're just saying show up. Those that show up in great physical shape are, at the end of the day, better. At the end of the day, better. And so why would you not give yourself that advantage? Because it doesn't cost you any money to do that. It costs you some time.
Maybe $30, $40.
If you're like, if you want to join a gym, is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So maybe, but it's not
maybe.
much. It's a fraction.
All right. So the amount of time, effort, and energy and stress that are on you as you continue to climb through and up, we'll just call it the ladder of investing in whatever investing world you're in. If you're failing to do this, you are showing up with a huge disadvantage, and it will take you more time to get to where you want to be as a result, because it's all linked together. It's all linked together. Okay. So, I found this out like 30 years ago, that it's all linked together. The mind-body connection, they call it. And how you show up based on how you feel, based on the physical work that you've done, is a huge foundation for that entire day. So I start my day in the morning. I'm a workout guy in the morning. And my day pretty much will flow so much better as a result of that being my foundation, versus rolling out of bed, hitting my snooze button a couple of times,
Right.
getting up, shuffling over to the shower, getting in the shower, getting my clothes on, maybe having a little breakfast and leaving. Now I get up, I get a good workout in. I'm already leaving with 10 times the amount of energy and 10 times the amount of focus to hit the day, to start the day, than if I wouldn't do that.
Right.
So why would you not take advantage of that? We've talked about some of the reasons why you wouldn't. But the biggest reason is because most of you are distracted with other things. And so if you move this distraction thing around and move this up the priority ladder, you're going to find you will be able to hit your investment targets sooner, not later. Because a mistake that a lot of people make is they put this off till later to do, thinking it's not a priority, when in fact it is a priority and it's like one of the first things they should do. And even if you're someone that does, well, I work out in the afternoon. Like you work out in the afternoon sometimes, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you already have a finish to your day and a jump on the next day based on the physical conditioning that you did the day before. Okay.
Right.
Pretty simple. Pretty simple. So when's the last time you worked out?
Yesterday at about 5:30 p.m.
Okay, so yesterday for you, today for me, this morning for me. How much shit have we got done today?
Quite a bit.
A lot.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be a slow time right now.
Right.
We've gotten a shit ton. I mean,
which is funny because it is a slow time because I mean we've probably got what, half the emails, half the phone calls than what we would on a typical week. So yeah, it is a slow time, but we've gotten a lot done.
A shit ton.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is because how we're showing up based on the physical conditioning that we're doing. I mean, as a matter of fact, I'll take this so far as to, so Christmas Eve, you're laughing. So Christmas Eve, a lot of folks will, maybe they get together and maybe that's their time they actually open presents.
Right.
I remember as a kid, that would be when we would open presents, was Christmas Eve instead of Christmas morning. So maybe it's that, or, the family gets together, big meal, sing Christmas carols, and, there's a whole bunch of things that happen Christmas Eve. But one of the things that I have my family and some friends do is we have a bench press contest.
Right.
That's what we do on Christmas Eve. And it's pretty entertaining. As a matter of fact, should we show some highlights?
I think so.
Yeah, okay, let's show some highlights. Here they are. All right, we're going to take a quick break. I hope you're enjoying this episode. I'm going to be having a free webinar coming up, the link's below, on how to correctly and with low risk invest your IRA or 401k in really good multifamily properties. A majority of our investors do this. I do this personally. It's not illegal. Make sure you click the link below. We'd love to have you. So you just saw some highlights of the bench press, the Christmas Eve bench press contest, and we've been doing this for years. So why do we talk about that? Because when you have this as like a central part of what you do, I mean, it's fun to do it on Christmas Eve. We have a good time doing it, of course. But now this is central to how everybody else is going to be showing up. Right? This is now how's everybody else going to be showing up? What's kind of expected of them in terms of showing up? And it doesn't start with reading a book, which is fine, motivational video, which is fine, podcast, which is fine. It starts with getting some physical work done. That's where it starts. And so again, you and I mean, just with recent meetings that we've had, with people that we see and have conversations with, I'm just going to say they should be doing a hell of a lot better than they are. And one of the reasons why they're not doing better than they are is because of this.
Right.
And so, Trot, if you were to, based on the folks that we've seen and we've talked to, and we're talking about the people that are in really good physical shape and the way that we talk and we interact with them and how things are going for them versus folks that are not. Talk about one or two differences that you see when we're talking to them, or maybe even later or before when you're communicating maybe with them over the phone or maybe over email. What kind of differences do you see or hear?
I think the biggest difference, at least in person, is you can tell the energy levels somebody brings to a conversation or brings to a meeting, no matter what time of day it is.
100%.
And they're a lot. It seems to me they're a lot more structured as well. And who knows if it's because they're used to following some sort of workout plan, or they're just disciplined in what they do every single day. But I think those are the two biggest: the energy levels and the organization of whatever information they were supposed to bring or
that we were maybe going to talk about.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's really, and that's 100% accurate. So we're not saying that physical condition is the magic pill to success, because there are lots of folks in really, really good shape that may not be, the most financially successful folks. We get that. And sometimes, a lot of times they don't want to be, which is fine. Everybody's got their thing, which is fine. So we understand that, but we also have seen and know through personal experience and also with the people that we deal with on a daily basis, just how important being in great physical shape is and can be to not only the level of success you have as an investor, but the speed of that success as well, right?
Right.
So let's kind of put a close on this, because I think this is a topic that, again, is not so obvious, but after you have a conversation and we talk about it like this, it's kind of obvious that this is important. And a lot of times people will put on their to-do list all sorts of things to watch, listen to, read, study in order to be really, really good at investing, when one of the first things that should be on the priority list is getting your workout in. It really should. That should be one of the first things. And I think you'll find, as we have found, if you do that, it is a game changer and will be a game changer to how much success, and as we talk about the speed of your success. So Trot, any last minute takeaways or comments regarding physical shape, working out, physical condition as it relates to being a successful investor?
Well, I think really for those who aren't, committed to any sort of physical fitness, I think, for example, when I left college, I always playing football in college, high school, my whole life, we were always forced to work out, and I really didn't like it.
Yeah, if you wanted to at least get some kind of playing time, you got to be doing
it.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't like the actual workouts, and so when I got out of college, I was like, oh, I don't like it. I'm not going to do it. Once you go from doing it to not doing it, you really see the difference in your energy levels and the structure, the organization, the discipline from when you were doing it. And so, maybe I went a year without really doing much. And then I realized, I was like, why do I feel less energized, or why do I, why am I not as structured? Why am I not as disciplined? And then, when I reflected back on it, I was like, the only thing I changed was I wasn't working out.
Right.
And I didn't really think of it like that.
Right.
So I think you just really understand the importance and find something you maybe like to do. You always got to do stuff you don't like to do. That's inevitable. But something like working out, I think you could find really, there's so many different ways to work out or be in physical shape. It's important to find something that, you're excited to go to or you're motivated to do.
Something that you can see yourself doing, and it's a start, and you don't have to be the, like we said, the sub 3 hour marathoner or the, the Mr. Olympia or the CrossFit champion, or, just a little bit of work every day.
Right.
And so I'm going to give you what my biggest takeaway is on this. A lot of investors will go through a lot of adversity. So if you want to be really, really good in whatever investment world you are in, we're in multifamily, obviously. Every day is not bright, shiny roses. There is adversity, sometimes a lot of adversity you got to deal with. And what we can tell you is from our experience, to go through that kind of adversity in the top physical condition you can be in allows you to deal with it and recover from it much, much better than if you're not. That's an easy thing for me to say. Because it's great for showing up with more energy and getting more done. And we had a great day today, getting shit accomplished and doing, so that's all great. But when it doesn't go so great, being in really good shape is a game changer in terms of your recovery, getting through it, getting over it again better and faster. That's a big one. So Trot, thank you. You look great, man.
Thank you.
You been working out?
Oh yeah.
All right, awesome. Good to have you on this episode of the Heartland Multifamily Show, the place
For all things multifamily.
for all things multifamily. Have a great multifamily day. We'll see you. Bye-bye.